What's good? It's your boy Vega, thecryptonline.com, Hip Hop Heads Podcast, and everything else. Hope y'all are well. So I got a new review for you today. Today is another hip hop album, which they're all going to be hip hop albums pretty much, so get used to it. Is the Full Horsemen. Here we go. The symbol of excellence. Four horsemen, four people, for life. You got Otis Roycroft. You got Nathan Haskell. Peace to him. He sent out this CD to me. They're the MCs on the album. Then you have Dust Mites right here. And then you got MIDI, the midichlorian. They handle the production on the album. Dust Mites and I go back mad years, the 90s. We've been associates since the old Necro forums. He's been producing for that long. That was around the same time he dropped Hated with Gore-Tex under the name Jigsaw. I think he's a fantastic producer. Really incredible, really slept on. And he's got a lot of skills. And it shows on this Full Horseman album. Bam. Really outstanding. Him and MIDI really do a great job. They keep it funky, they keep it kind of, really original, and they keep it, true. Really true. The beats are hard, for the most part. Some of them are a little funky. Even the ones that aren't as hard, they make up for it in the MCs, because the MCs come hard, and they're really good. I really enjoyed this. I really enjoyed what Nate and Otis came up with on this album. It's pretty original for what it is. It's a concept album of sorts, or how can you describe it? People call it nerdcore. It's not, some typical rap shit that people are rapping about. The guys are rapping about, G.I. Joe's, a lot of G.I. Joe samples, and, you hear the album name, The Four Horsemen, the symbol of excellence, the wrestling references. Lots and lots of wrestling references. If you're a fan of wrestling, and a fan of hip-hop music, you're going to love this album. Kind of like, the Macho Man Randy Savage album. But this is a step up, I think, no R.I.P. Macho Man. But I thought they did really good on this. You got 19 tracks on here, and you get that 3 bonus cuts, which is pretty good. It's a long album, and they don't skimp, it plays well all the way through. Letting some good interludes on there. Just a lot of good stuff. It was really well made. Nate also mastered the album himself, and it sounds really good. Couple fuzzy parts here and there, but overall I think he did a great job with it. The album art also, I thought, really good, fantastic. And then here's the backside of that, and here we go. And the inside disc, nothing fancy at all. This is an underground album, independent, Cobra Law Records. I thought this album was, like I said, for what it is, I think it's very good. If you are, not a nerd, I guess, but even if you, grew up listening to wrestling, watching, you could maybe listen to it, maybe you were blind. If you grew up watching wrestling, then I think you'll really enjoy this album. Or if you're a kid who grew up with G.I. Joes and Transformers and things like that you can really relate to. If you're in your, in your 30s, early to late 30s, I think you'll really, really like this album. Nathan and Otis both bring it lyrically, for this genre. They do a really good job. They're clever. They're really witty and funny at times. You'll laugh with them on this album. They'll make you laugh because they got some funny lines. And then they got bars. A couple tracks here and there, aren't as strong as some others on the album, but that's okay. Because even those tracks that aren't as strong as the others, they're still good quality, and you can still, nod your head to them. Like I said, I think the beats are flawless on this. Sometimes, I think some of the flows kind of could just use a little bit more polishing, but that's just my opinion. Some, I don't know how to describe it, and I forget what tracks. I wish I, wrote this down beforehand, but that's what you get when you're freestyling. I think, just a little, it could be a little bit more polished. And what's crazy is, I've been fucking with Nathan Haskell for a couple years. Like I said, I've been fucking with Dust Mites for over 15 years. But from what I've listened to from Haskell, he's really grown as an MC. His first project that I heard was what was it called? Cold Slither. Thank you. Yeah, also produced by Dust Mites. You heard him on that. The flow wasn't, there quite yet. The lyrical content was good, but not as clever. And then you come to the second album, which was Cold Slither 2. I thought a big step up lyrically for Haskell and flow-wise. Big time. And then now, here with the Four Horsemen, once again, Haskell has really stepped up his game, and he really brought it on this one. Like I said, it's not perfect by any means, but I think if this dude keeps doing what he's doing, he's really going to carve, and him and Otis combined. Otis is really on point. I think him and Otis combined, or even either of them solo, I think they can really make a mark in this genre for what they do, as far as like incorporating the wrestling and all that stuff, because they do it in a really clever way. And especially with these producers, with MIDI and Dust Mites, I feel like they know exactly what these two guys want from them. Being Nate and Otis are both from California. I'm not exactly sure where Midi's from, but I believe he's from the East Coast. I could be wrong. And then Dust Mites is Brooklyn by way of New Jersey right now. So you have, these two different sounds, and I think that's why it really works. These guys got a hard style wrestling reference, and it's they both work really well together. And it's cool to have these two West Coast guys that don't have West Coast beats really at all. The beats are really good. Like I said, there's some nostalgic stuff on here. The interludes are really, really well done. All the wrestling intros and stuff like that are incorporated into it work really well, and they're great, and it just brings you back to when Rick and me personally, I have a good connection with the Four Horsemen. I loved the Four Horsemen growing up. Me and a couple of my buddies, we called ourselves the Horsemen when we were in elementary up through middle school, and then it caught on through high school, and it became like a whole squad, the Horsemen. It moved from something that was the Four Horsemen because the four of us chilled, and we also had a foreign object that we'd bring in every once in a while, a fifth guy, or the enforcer as you want to call it, Mongo style, or Sid Justice, Sid Vicious. Then you have. And then later on, it just became, it grew from that, and it just became the Horsemen, and a whole squad, 100 people were rep the Horsemen when I was in high school, and shortly afterwards and stuff, and that was cool. So, I got the connection to that, and that's pretty dope. So, in closing, I really enjoy this album. Actually, not in closing. Let me reverse that. Also, with the beats, There's a lot of nostalgic shit on here, like I said, with the samples, like the voice samples for the wrestling and stuff. But you're gonna catch some stuff here, like the Jordan. They have a track called "Horn and Lambier," and it uses the Michael Jordan theme, it was just really I thought was really great. There's another one on here. I think it's Battlefront, which uses the Darth Vader theme, and it sounds really dope. It's not like 100 wicked original or anything, but when it comes on, you're like, oh, okay, shit, yeah, I can fuck with this, and they do it well, really well. So yeah, if I had to rate this album, once again, I think it's going to come on a double rating. Actually, no, it's not. Straight up, I'm going to give it a 3.5. I thought it was really great. I enjoyed it, better than average. Could use a little work in spots. Like I said, I'm not, just because I know these guys, I'm not going to kiss some butt. But I think the album is above average, and it is a good listen. I think if you're into wrestling and nerd stuff, I think this is going to be even greater for you. Like I said, I'm judging it on, what I think the masses will think. I love this personally. For me, I think it's great, but I think for some people, it's not going to hit them the right way. And then you know what? Oh well, that's fine. You're missing out. But for the people that this speaks to, you're gonna freaking love this album. You are gonna laugh. You're gonna cry. You're gonna fudge your undies. So peep that, and peep thecryptonline.com. This is Vega the Chosen with What's Good review. 4 Horsemen, Symbol of Excellence, Cobra Law Records. Check them out. You can get it on their Bandcamp. Leave a comment. Tell me what you think. 1.